So, tuned in. I guess, how do I start this off? Is it my attitude or is it somebody else's? So, past couple weeks, I've had some tough conversations and interactions with people that I love for, varying reasons and varying topics. And I don't know if I necessarily handled it as well as I could have. So I've been trying to explain, I don't know, my mind and my thoughts and my where I'm coming from and why I'm thinking and feeling and all these different things. So basically, liars make me crazy. And not just somebody who tell lies or somebody who's trying to deceive. When you're in a conversation with somebody and they totally abandon the objective mission of effectively communicating, of if there is a disagreement, abandoning resolve, actual purpose of the conversation. Is like you would rather hold to whatever delusion, and it literally makes me sick. Now, this ain't to say that I'm perfect. This ain't to say that I haven't lied or I don't lie. I try not to lie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has lied. I'm not a liar. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But my point is, I want to get to a resolution. I want to communicate. Yeah, I feel like communicating is for a reason. It's not just to, a lot of people, too many people want you to only say the things that make them feel good, or only agree with what they have to say, or champion whatever their cause or idea is, and don't push back. And who are you to say X, Y, and Z? And who says that you're perfect or whatever? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why are we even talking? Why are we speaking? What is actually the purpose? And like, what are we doing? So it is utterly mind-numbing and enraging, disgustingly frustrating to try to communicate with somebody who's a liar. Someone who cannot operate from reality, logic, rational reasoning. And it manifests in many different ways, not just in the sense of just flat out lying, but even in manipulation, even in moving the goalposts, even in the willful ignorance, intentionally ignoring sound reason and logic to maintain consistency in a delusional thought or idea that has clear evidence against it and that has been debunked, yet they will not relent. They will not surrender to truth. What is it that makes me so crazy when this happens? I feel like I'm not asking for anything unreasonable. So I started doing some digging. And I found this response. Let me share my screen with y'all. So I found this response. Your profound frustration in dealing with dishonesty and irrationality is rooted in a clash of fundamental human desire for truth, consistency, and logical coherence. When confronted with deceit or illogical behavior, several psychological and philosophical principles come into play, shedding light on your intense emotional response. Now, one of the main problems or one of the main issues with what's going on with me in this situation is that intense emotional response. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I literally, it's literally sickening to have to deal with somebody like that, and especially in a family type of relationship, because I feel trapped. I feel in bondage to that person because I can't get rid of them. They're my family. They're my brother. They're my sister. They're my father. They're my uncle. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't. And you know, I'm talking with my wife this morning. I was telling her, like, I'm battling with self-control. I'm battling with how to navigate this whole thing, and why does it make me so crazy, and why am I so apt to just throw the whole person away? I don't never got to deal with you again. It is too hard to deal with you. It is too exhausting, overwhelming to deal with a person like that. But the main people that I'm talking about, I know for a fact God has them in my life, and not that I am the only one. Not that they're the one only benefiting from me being in their life, but even as hard as it is, I'm benefiting from them being in my life, even if it's just for God to use them to grow me, to sharpen my blade, to get His glory done or whatever. But it's such a crazy thing. So let's go back to this. From a philosophical standpoint, the concept of cognitive dissonance, as proposed by Leon Festinger, is particularly relevant here. It describes the mental discomfort that arises from holding contradictory beliefs, values, or ideas, or when our expectations of rationality and truthfulness in others are starkly violated. Your desire for rational discourse and factual integrity clashes with the reality of dishonesty and manipulation, creating a profound sense of cognitive dissonance. Moreover, the human mind values coherence and predictability in social interactions. When someone lies or manipulates, it disrupts the foundational trust that facilitates meaningful conversation and understanding. This breach of trust not only undermines the basic social contract, but also forces you to question the reliability of future interaction, leading to a sense of instability, frustration. Philosophically, your reaction can be contextualized within the realm of epistemology. the study of knowledge and truth. When individuals persist in falsehoods despite clear evidence to the contrary, it challenges the very principles of rational discourse and the pursuit of knowledge. It not only challenges it, it totally disrupts it. It totally throws it out of balance, out of sync. It just pisses all over it. What does it piss all over? Y'all can tell I'm irritated by this, right? Philosophically, your reaction can be contextualized within the realm of epistemology, the study of truth, of knowledge and truth. When individuals persist in falsehoods, despite clear evidence to the contrary, it challenges the very principles of rational discourse and the pursuit of knowledge. The Socratic method, which emphasizes the importance of questioning and critical thinking to uncover truth, is rendered ineffective in the face of willful ignorance or deceit. It's rendered ineffective, meaning the possibility to get to the truth, to get to understanding, to get to common ground, to get to resolve, to get to something meaningful is rendered ineffective in the face of willful ignorance or deceit. I had a conversation with somebody, and I had a conversation with somebody last week about something, and I shouldn't have. First off, I shouldn't have commented on their post on social media. I know the type of person that they are. I know the interaction that I was gonna get, but it just made me so crazy, the things that they said. And I love this person, and I'm really going to war and really wanting to pull this person out of the fire. Like, bro, you tripping, right? Like, what are you doing, right? So we get into the I comment, and then he calls me, and we going back and forth, and I don't know if y'all know me in person, or you've had any lengthy discussion with me, or you watch me on here. You can see that, like, I try to really dig and get to, and I try to be clear with what I say, concise with what I say, and I try to, as best as possible, say what I mean and mean what I say, and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they just was throwing the conversation just off the rails. It's like, what are you talking about? Why? Like, what? Like, and it literally it started turning my stomach. It was making me sick, right? I'm going somewhere with this. This just ain't about this. I'm reading the psychological report that I got for this type of response and reaction. But I talked to the Father about it. I'm gonna close this tuned in with what the Father told me, right? So let's get back over here. Furthermore, the ethical dimension of honesty as a virtue, as advocated by philosophers like Immanuel Kant, highlights the moral implications of deceit. Dishonesty not only impedes the exchange of ideas, but also erodes the moral fabric of interpersonal relationships. It erodes the moral fabric of interpersonal relationships. It destroys relationships. It makes it where you can't have it. I was talking to my wife, and I was talking to my wife and Bino about this, and I was just being honest. I said, man, you know what? When I have interactions with people like that, it really troubled me and made me want to get to the bottom of what's going on with me and why I think and why I react to certain things certain ways, because man, I literally, and I'm just keeping it 100, I literally feel a tinge of hate when I interact with people like that. When I have to, the fight, it triggers just so many things, and I go back to the situation I had with my father and how me and him got into it, and the reason and this doesn't make it right, but the reason I reacted the way I did to my daddy is because I felt, one, that he was bullying me, two, that he was lying to me. He wasn't being honest. He wasn't taking accountability. And when you don't take accountability, to me, you're lying. And I just had such a volcanic eruption of just, but I was talking to my wife and I was like, man, I have to pray about this. I have to kill this, because there's something good about it. Don't get me wrong. It is valuable, but I need to understand the line of how to avoid jumping off the cliff into pure rage because I feel like I've been violated, because I feel like you're cheating me, because I feel like you're bullying me, because I feel like you're lying to me. Yeah. So, let me make it bigger, my bad. Furthermore, the ethical dimension of honesty as a virtue, as advocated, I read that one. Erodes the moral fabric of interpersonal relationships, which can particularly be infuriating to those who value ethical integrity. Your emotional turmoil in these situations is also amplified by the feeling of helplessness and injustice. Right? I feel helpless. I feel trapped. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the raccoon that got his leg in a trap and he'll chew his own leg off to get out the trap. That's how desperate I am to get out of that and not be there, because it feels like it's so doom and gloom, because you can't go anywhere with that. There's nothing I can do with that conversation. And I feel like there's nothing I can do with that relationship, because I can't communicate with you effectively. But do I care too much? Is it good that I care that much? I know I'm feeling that way and I'm reacting this way because I love you. I would never waste time in trying to communicate and fight with you about something about your life if I didn't actually love you, if I wasn't concerned about you and your life and what you got going on. That's the truth. But where is the line? You know what I'm saying? Your emotional turmoil in these situations also is also amplified by the feeling of helplessness, and injustice. The persistence of dishonesty, despite clear evidence and rational argument, can evoke a sense of moral outrage and a desire for truth and justice to prevail. In essence, your frustration is multifaceted. Is a multifaceted response to the disruption of cognitive harmony, ethical standards, and foundational trust necessary for meaningful human interaction. Recognizing these underlying dynamics can provide a clearer understanding of your reactions and offer pathways to coping with such challenging interactions, such as setting clear boundaries, practicing patience, and seeking supportive environments that value truth and rational discourse. Now, all those things that they just said at the end, I do those things. I've done those things, but I still go crazy when these types of things happen. It don't work, and it hasn't worked. So, where am I going with this whole thing? The Father told me, well, the reason why you having this problem is because you ain't been praying as much as you need to. And I know it's more than that, or That's the thing about it. God he don't say a lot of words all the time. And I could be like, well, yeah, okay, I agree with that, Father. But what else? Because time and patience with the Father brings about a new mind. That's how you crucify the mind. And I pray, I read, I prepare, even doing this show and going to church and Bible study. Like, I'm praying, I'm studying, I'm reading. But what do we talk about here on Crown of Glory 360? What do we talk about all the time? We talk about getting alone, shutting down, stopping, spending time in prayer. Intentional prayer, intentional worship, alone, by yourself, calming the storm, calming that lion, that monster, that rage, because I truly believe that God made me the way that I am for a purpose. It is not a bad thing that I have such a love for truth. It is not a bad thing that I pursue truth and all of these things like this, but it has to be tempered down, and I need the wisdom of the Father. I need the Holy Spirit to walk me through and mature me in these areas. I don't know. Is it fear? Is it trauma? Is it hurt? Is it why do I feel so violated when somebody lies to me? Why do I feel so enraged? And God didn't necessarily just outright answer the why and give me an understanding. But what he did say is, well, you may have not been able to control. No. He ain't say you may. He said you ain't been praying like you need to be. You ain't been praying. You ain't been praying how you need to be praying for these things. See, I've been praying. I pray good for other people. I pray, bless the food. Sometimes I ain't gonna front. Sometimes, we pray at church all the time, Al. We pray on these shows. But I'm talking about, going through the motions and doing the shows and preaching and this. It can be what's the word I'm looking for? It could be just routine. It could be routine. But what about when you're not routine? What about on a Thursday, on a Wednesday, when I ain't got nothing going on? I just got off work. And that's when I, try to work out. Monday, Tuesday, I get home, do the show. I'll work out if I got time. Usually I don't, because I'm studying, whatever. So the rest of the week is when I usually work out. But what about shutting down when I'm sitting down and I'm tired and come up here to the studio? This is my prayer closet, the studio. Come up here and sit here for 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour. And that is like, it's a reason why I did that show, why we talk about it all the time, because I know the importance of it. And I was talking to Bino about this today. I was talking to my wife about it, and see, that whole thing, it bleeds over into my marriage. When I feel like my wife might not hear me, she might hear me. I can say one thing and she can switch a couple words, and now I feel like you've totally changed what and it's such a disrespect and dishonor to me. It's like, and that's not necessarily wrong, but man, I just need, Lord, and I've been praying about it, and I prayed about it today, and I'm gonna pray, and I'm asking y'all to pray for your brother. Pray for your brother for self-control, for temperance, for being able to understand and rightfully use that fire, and rightfully use that analytical mind, because I'm super analytical. I want things to, like, nah, you said this. No, I said this. Now ask me if I meant this, because most times I mean exactly what I say. Now, I'm not saying it's not layered or multifaceted. There's not, But ask me. Don't assume that I mean something I didn't say. Start with what I said, and then ask me if I mean more, if I mean something different, or if I'm saying something. Because for me, if you switch it and you say that I said something I didn't say, even if it's 2-3 words, that changes the whole thing. That's how much I pay attention. That's how analytical I am, and that's how intentional I am about what I say. To me, that's a super violation. But Lord, I need to be able to control that. I need to not be overtaken by my feelings, by my emotions, by rage, by anger, by frustration, because now I can't hear the person, even if they're turning around and trying to come back and say, okay, well, my bad. Now, nope, it's too late. I want to fight.